We got another guest, and this is a familiar face if you come to Mesa Morning Live. He comes here every month to kind of fill us in on what's going on, talks about what's trending in Mesa news. How about a big round of applause from the East Valley Tribune, Mr. Brett Fera. Brett, come on out. Welcome back, sir.
Hey, Mark, how are you?
Good to have you here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me again. I woke up this morning and then walked in here and realized I was a little bit nervous. I guess people liked what I had to say the last few months, so we got a bigger crowd, it looks like, but not like there's anyone more important here than me, right?
Oh, I have a feeling it's all about you, Brett.
All about me. We'll make it all about me if we have to.
Yeah. I wouldn't be too offensive. You might end up in a tent. Keep that. Well, good to have you back. Welcome back.
Thanks. Good to be back.
And give these people what they came for. What's going on in Mesa?
You know, it's been the last couple months we've kind of hit on a couple of topics that are perpetuating, and I guess that's the general theme. You know, we've talked a lot about the education changes, the higher education changes in Mesa, and the city has unveiled their Mesa Educates You program, which is really neat. And they're next month holding a weekend series to kind of get people more interested in the new colleges, and then also the ones that have existed. You know, Mesa Community College and AT Still, the existing ones, and the new ones, Benedictine, Albright, Westminster, Wilkes, and Upper Iowa that are coming to town or already here. And so it's they're using a weekend in March too.
Hang on a second. You're so dynamic that you're blowing our system out, Brett. There we go. Thank you, Channel 11. See, look what they'll do to get a little airtime here. Good to have you. Thank you.
I can't hear myself right now because of a sinus thing, so I'm sorry if I'm talking a little louder. I'm probably yelling here, but
No, that's cool.
yeah. So anyway, next month, Mesa Educates You is kind of kicking off now, but they're holding a weekend event, and they're tying it into the great downtown Mesa second Friday night out that they do, the big street fair that they do, and also a Cubs game, you know, kicking off with spring training a little bit, so people can get out there and kind of see and learn about the educational opportunities in the town. So that's kind of a cool one. That's coming up.
Speaking of the Cubs, this is the final year at Hohokam, right?
Yeah, it's, you know, obviously spring training is huge around the valley. And what's kind of neat in Mesa, obviously, that we've mentioned a few times is that not only will the Cubs be leaving Hohokam and heading to their new digs over at Riverview, but Mesa's getting a second team next year, and the A's coming over to Hohokam more than likely. I mean, it's pretty solidified that they're going to be doing that. So while this is the last year at Hohokam and there's a lot of history and memories there, it's a great thing for the city that they're actually moving, because it's going to be more dynamic and more attraction and everything like that. So it's interesting. Hohokam's been around for forever, and they've been there off and on since I think 1952 is the year I got. And before that, you know, I grew up in Southern California and used to take week-long trips during the summer with my family out to Catalina Island, and that's where the Cubs trained before here. I mean, it's kind of amazing to think that long ago, and the Wrigleys used to shuttle them out to Southern California and put them on the island for a couple of weeks, and then they ended up in Arizona, and Mesa became their more often than not, their home, and then since like 79, it's been permanent, so.
Oh, that's awesome. When pitchers and catchers, how many days?
I think 4.
4 or 5 days, wow.
Or Monday or Tuesday of next week, so.
And I know we've talked about it in the past, the economic impact of spring training is amazing. So
it's huge. It's absolutely massive, and it's only getting bigger. And the kind of cool thing is the East Valley team, so the Angels for one in Tempe, and the Cubs building their new stadium are actually generating a lot more of the attendance, at least the increases. So we're seeing that. The Cubs are constantly leading the way in attendance, and so seeing some of the other neighborhood teams pick up some of that too is great for the whole region, but Mesa obviously too.
I think the Cubs not only are the leading in attendance in the Cactus League, but also the Grapefruit League too, aren't they? Don't they draw more than any other spring training?
Yeah, I don't know if they have the largest stadium. I don't know that number, but I know that per capita, you know, percentage of capacity that's filled, they absolutely are the highest draw for spring training. And you know, it's great. There's, you know, we've talked about Gateway, and they're offering direct flights to Chicago now. I mean, to Mesa Gateway Airport. So I mean, they're doing everything they can to continue to ramp this up and make this you know, a viable thing just year round, let alone spring training time. So.
Cool. You know, just curious, we got a lot of small business owners here in the East Valley that are in attendance. Raise your hand if you can see the impact of spring training when all the teams and all the fans start rolling in. Do you see it? Notice a big difference? Yeah, you see a lot of hands go up. So Well, good. That's awesome. What else is going on? Talk about the museum.
Last week, the Arizona Museum for Youth, which is really, really one of the coolest, and probably, I hope this doesn't sound like a negative, because I think it's an incredible thing and people get out and see it, but I don't think it's seen enough in town for how great it actually is and what it offers to the community. It's kind of one of those underrated things that I think that Mesa offers. But they're actually rebranding a little bit, and part of it's tied to the fact that it's called Arizona Museum for Youth, but there's a lot of stuff for all ages, kids of all ages, so to speak. And so they're rebranding as the as IDEA, I-D-E-A, and that's Imagination, Design, Experience, and Art. And they're going to go through a kind of a transformation of what they're doing over the next few months, and then they'll close for about a month in, I believe, May and June, and then reopen over the summer as this kind of new brand that with sort of a new vision. So really neat to see, old staples that are not willing to just kind of sit back and hang around. They're trying to reinvent themselves too. So
that's great. Where is that located?
That is, it's in the, to be honest, I've been there twice, and I still get lost coming here in the morning. So it's in the downtown area. I don't know the exact street off the top of my head, but. All right.
Thank you. I knew someone out of 300 people here would know that. So good for you.
And it's it's really cool. Like I said, I've only been there twice, but I can't wait to get there. I want to go before and then after and kind of see how things transition over the next few months too.
That's great. And then the State of the City?
State of the City was, to be honest, it wasn't, there wasn't a lot that we didn't expect. And some of the Mesa residents that we've talked to are kind of happy about that, because it means things are kind of going how they'd planned. But, the good news is that there's been a lot of progress the last handful of years, and the State of the City kind of reiterated that, but then also moved forward a little bit and explained how that was going to continue. And things are going to be interesting in the next few years. We talked about this last month, I think, how we're going to see a shift on the city council after this next term. Going to see some handful of new faces. And so to see what they can get done over the next couple of years and continue to propel Mesa is going to be really interesting. And how, the last few years have been very, very impactful for this area, not just the city, but the region, what Mesa's been able to do. So to see how they're able to continue that beyond and find something new all the time is going to be real interesting to watch.
That's great. Well, thanks for covering a lot of ground. Anybody have a quick question for Brett before we turn him loose? And we'll see you next month, right?
All right. Thanks.
All right. Hey, thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Brett, thank you.